Ashwin, I think you can unmute. Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Ashwin here. I am an alum of NIT Calicut 2017 to 21 batch, and I am here as a representative of Skillcraft hosting this webinar for you. So let me introduce you all to your speaker, Ayush Gupta, Mr. Ayush Gupta, who is a senior software engineer in Google, and we are very happy that he is here with us today to spend time with you all, and we are also happy that you all joined us today. So with that, let me introduce you to our speaker. He has got quite a interesting stuff going on around him. So let me quickly give a short introduction about him, and we'll have him interact with you. Okay. So Mr. Ayush has got a 10 CGPA in his class 10th and a 96.4 percentage in his class 12th. And his All India rank in JE Advanced is 2407. And in mains, he's secured a rank of 1750 in JE mains. So he did a dual degree course from IIT Roorkee. He's BTech in production and industrial engineering, MTech in robotics. His another fascinating point is he worked with DRDO on designing missiles for Indian submarines as an MTech project. Sounds really fascinating. Now he got placed both in Goldman Sachs and Google in campus, and he chose Google. But the fascinating point is, in the whole history of IIT Roorkee, he is the first person to get placed in a Google from a non-circuit branch. So that's something that says something to us, right? Now he is also practicing spirituality and other things from his class 6th, and he is going to tell us more about his lifestyle and how he got into Google, the journey, the obstacles, and so on. So I welcome Mr. Ayush Gupta to share with you all what his own experiences. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Ashwin, that was really lovely introduction. Okay, so before I begin, a few things to check from the audience. Firstly, is my audio and video clear, or is it that my video is frozen or something? If you are able to hear me properly and you are able to see me properly, can you give a thumbs up? Or you can write yes in the chat box. I wish to have this session really interactive, so you need to be very active on your fingers. So can I see thumbs up or yes in the chat box? Okay, thank you. I'm getting a few of them. Okay, so this was first, and second, I'm planning to give the entire talk in English. Okay, ये लाइन मेरे को हिंदी में बोलनी चाहिए. मैं पूरी टॉक इंग्लिश में देने के प्लान कर रहा हूँ. कोई ऐसा है जिसको इंग्लिश कंफर्टेबल नहीं है? Is there anyone who is not so comfortable with English? You can again write in the chat box and let me know if there's any. Okay, that's perfect. So let's begin. So although I've been asked to, Ashwin, maybe you can pull up your screen, pull up the slides. Okay. So yes, so I've been asked to, share my experiences with you all regarding my journey through school and college, and now I've spent nearly a year as software engineer. So I've been asked to share my experiences, though I don't think that my journey, my experience would be much of value, because I'm absolutely an ordinary person. Okay, but still means if my journey can be helpful to even a single fellow present out there, so I'll definitely love to share whatever things I have at my end. Okay, so yes, I got placed in the month of November 2019. So it's nearly 1.5 years. So since the day I got placed on 30th November, so since the very next day, 1st December, wherever I go, whosoever I meet, okay, the people ask me one same question. Okay, hey Ayush, means what was your secret of success? Hey Ayush, how is it that you, in spite of not being from computer science branch, managed to get into Google? Okay, is it that you had some super expert guide who was giving you guidance throughout your placement preparation? Or is it that you got to know of some very special website where you used to practice coding? Or is it that from your childhood you were too intelligent, okay, to be able to crack Google? Or is it that during your 5 years of stay at IIT Roorkee, you, what do you say, did a lot of coding, competitive programming, etc., which landed you into Google? So what was the secret of your success? Okay, so people ask this. So as an answer to this question, I ask another question. Okay, I tell, okay, you want to know the secret of my success, but in reply, I have a question for you. Can you please tell me, how do you define success as? Okay, so means, what does success mean for you? Do you define success as having a luxurious bungalow, or do you define success as having a skyscraper building? Do you define success as having a huge bank balance, or do you define success as having a high paying job? Do you define success as having a sleek car, or do you define success as having a trendy computer? Do you define success as having elegant watches, or do you define success as wearing brand new shoes? Do you define success as wearing expensive outfits, or do you define success as having a spacious farmhouse? Do you define success as having a large swimming pool, or do you define success as having a personal helicopter? How do you define success? And most of people don't tell, they're shy in replying to this question. But I mean, one of these things only define their success, and that's exactly wherein people make a mistake. Okay, so if your success is also being defined by these things, so you are also making a big mistake. So what's that mistake? We'll have a look at the end. So let's move on. So yes, so as Ashwin was telling, that I what means, I got a decent percentage in my class 12, and I got 20 a rank around 2400 in JE advanced, although I was expecting a much higher rank. As per my preparation, I was expecting a rank within top 1000, but somehow the year in which I gave the JE exam, that was 2015. And 2015, if you remember, that was prepared by IIT Bombay. Okay, and IIT Bombay had the marking scheme of +4 -2 that year. Okay, so it was means I don't know whether it's my bad or who's bad, but somehow I made silly mistakes. So instead of getting a +4 in those questions, I got a -2. So I got a difference of 6 marks and good number of questions. So this landed me to a very poor rank as compared to my expectations. So with a rank of around 2400, I was left with a couple of options. The first option was that either I go to a relatively good IIT with not a branch of my choice. Means my choice was computer science and information technology. This was the field in which I wanted to develop my career. So this was one choice, that I go to good IIT, but because in good IIT there's high competition, I'll not get good branch. Okay. And the other option was I go to not so good IIT, means IIT which is outside the top 7 IITs like IIT Mandi, IIT Ropar, etc. There in those IITs I take the branch of my choice, good branches like computer science, electronics, like that. So because I was clear that I have to go with a software career, so I took a risk and I chose one of the IITs among top 7. That was IIT Roorkee, and I chose a really poor branch. Purposefully, I chose a poor branch that was production industrial engineering. Okay, I means I was getting chemical, civil, etc. in IIT Roorkee easily, but I purposefully chose the most pathetic branch so that during my 4 years of BTech, I can focus on focus on software engineering. I can do coding, prepare for interviews, etc. Okay, so this is the first learning which I'd like to share. That is clarity of goal. Okay, so clarity, if you see, it has actually a lot of power. Having clarity in itself is a great power. But unfortunately, what I see that people, what do you say? Not people, mean the youngsters, means the modern generation, they don't have this. Okay, they severely lack clarity of goal. Okay, so means if means I like to give you an example of Michael Phelps. Okay, can we move on to the next slide, please? Yeah, so this person, okay, so now means currently he's a world champion. Okay, he has, means I don't know, means I think he has a record of breaking the most number of records, world records. Okay, so means the day when he became the champion, the day when he receives the Olympics medal or etc etc, we people clap. Okay, we people clap on Michael Phelps for that. Okay, but what I think is that Michael Phelps should be given applause not on the day when he receives a medal or he became the world champion. Rather, he deserved an applause on the day when he decided to become the world champion. Okay, when did it begin? Okay, if you go 10 years, means 10 years in the history from the day, means when Michael Phelps became the world champion. At that time, Mr. Phelps was an ordinary person, okay, like you and me. So when he was an ordinary person, at that time he made a decision that if from today onwards for the next 10 years I practice 12 hours a day without fail, then what will happen? I will be the world champion. Okay, so this is called clarity of goal. This is a perfect example of clarity of goal. A person perfectly knows what needs to be done, means what I need to do and what exactly needs to be done for that. Okay, so this is a solid example of clarity of goal. Okay, but it means nowadays people don't have that. Okay, let's take example of college only. Some of you are from IIT, some of you may be from NITs. So what happens generally when people enter the college? Okay, they enter as BTech students. Okay, so sometimes what happens, even the first year has not ended. Okay, they start dreaming for means different things. Like few students, they in the first year itself only they start going for cat classes. Okay, they pick up what is the courses, etc etc, for clearing cat examination. Okay, so I don't know, means yeah, means I talked to few people. They told that the motivation is it will look really nice if they have IIT IIM against their name. Okay, Ayush Gupta, IIT Roorkee, IIM Ahmedabad. Okay, sounds great, So therefore they start taking sometimes MBA training and all. Okay, then what happens? They get to, by the time they come into a second year or third year, they also get to know, hey, there's a nice prime minister. There's a nice, what do we say, scheme going on by the prime minister, that if at all you do BTech plus PhD from IIT, so you'll get this much scholarship. You'll get 80,000 scholarship per month or something. Okay, so they think, oh, this is also a good idea. Okay, so first year that fellow was planning to do MBA. Okay, second year he switches over his mind to PhD. Okay, then by the time third year comes, okay, the person thinks, oh, next year there's going to be gate examination also. I should prepare for that also. That fellow start going for gate training also. Okay, he'll means purchase different books, means check out different gate examination in the past. Okay, try solving them. Okay, break his head 100 times, Okay, means person already broke his head for JE advanced. Now he's breaking his head for gate. Okay, Then placements come in the 4th year. Okay, person thinks, oh, means what if I don't get into gate? At least I should secure one job. I should sit for placements also. Okay, so the person prepares a couple of months for placements also. So you're seeing what is happening. The person is simply not having means any clarity of goal. Okay, so means these are few things. There are a lot many more things. Just like when I was there in my 2nd year, at that time the craze of machine learning, data science, data mining, that was picking up. Okay, so the students who were, what do we say, who were preparing for coding, competitive programming, many of them changed their minds. Okay, many of them switched their careers from software engineering to, what do we say, data science, etc., etc. Means this was so much on the hike that even I was influenced for a few days. I also seriously started getting doubts that whether I should also consider changing my career. Means I should also include other options in my career or not. Okay, so many things are there. Then students, what they will do, they will go to, what do we say, different groups also. Why? Because some so-called seniors, they will come, you means you're some, sorry, so-called well-wishing seniors, they will come to you, they will say, hey, if you don't participate in groups, you'll not get means you'll not be having a great resume to show to the companies in the interviews. So your resume should not be empty, it should be filled. So therefore, you should participate in groups. You should go to dance club. You should go to choreography club. You should go to music club. You should go to football team. You should go to this, that. Okay, one fellow, he was means he was very curious. Why? Because means he was my roommate. He was a crew member in Thomso. Thomso is the cultural club of IIT Roorkee. Okay, so you all must also be having some cultural clubs, right, in your colleges. So Mm, so what happens is that, yes, students become really crazy. I know, means many of you might not have had experience of that. Means what do we say, on campus college life? Many of you might have spent means all your time doing your means college studies via Zoom and all. But just telling that fellow was really curious about being a crew member in Thomso. Okay, so I told that fellow, hey, why are you so excited? He said, I am the crew member of Thomso. Ayush, means you could not make it, means I pity on you, but means you should be proud of me. Your roommate is a crew member in Thomso. I said, oh, means so what good will being a crew member do to you? So he said that means in resume I'll write it, that I was a crew member. I said, okay. So you mean to say when the companies will come, you'll tell the companies that you were a crew member? So I must remind you, my brother, the companies come for hiring an engineer. The companies don't come for hiring a watchman. Okay, so that fellow was ashamed. So being a crew member is what? Being a watchman? No. Crew member is what? It means doing night duty during the program. Okay, please don't get offended, but that's a fact. Okay, so means why do you want to do a job of a watchman? Okay, do something which is worth doing. Means you have come here, you are young, you are energetic. Utilize your time and energy for something which is worth means utilizing your energy and time, right? Okay, don't means while away your time only just because of, what do you say, just for the sake of filling up your resume, for the sake of some certificates and all. Okay, and yeah, so this was first thing. So means coming back to same point, that students don't have clarity of goal. Okay, they'll run into this group, that group. Okay, means I'll just share means one thing from my experience, that although I had entered with a clear goal that I have to be a software engineer, still means although there were many means coding groups which recruit students from first year, I did not give their recruitment test. Why? Because I got to know that my elder brother had told me that these groups, there you learn many things, but your time will also be wasted, means quite a lot, because these groups means there will be people who will means who would like to spend time gossiping. There will be people who like to pass slangs, who means do other nonsense things. So I was not interested. So means the things which I can learn in those groups, I can learn otherwise also, right? Means on my own end or something. So I did not even go in those groups which were worth going. Okay, so means this is means such decisions, they may be hard to take, but means because means these are the places where you need to be really strong. You need to be really very clear what is supposed to be done, what is not supposed to, not what is not supposed to be done. Just because everyone is doing means it does not follow that you also have to do that. Okay, there were around 60 students in my group. From those 60, 58 were there in some group or the other. I and one more students. Only two of us were there who were there in none of the groups. Okay, students used to make fun, but that's fine. Means okay, you may make fun, but just because of the fact that you are making fun of me, it doesn't mean that I'll change my goal. Okay, so this is what is clarity of goal. Okay, and means Krishna also talks about this very nicely in Bhagavad Gita. Can you go on to the next slide, please? Yes, this is where I took this, means which was the what do you say driving point for this point in my life. This is a shloka which Krishna spoke in Bhagavad Gita. Vyavasaya atmika buddhir ekeha kurunandana bahushakhayanantasya buddhayo avyavasayinam. So here Krishna is telling Vyavasaya atmika buddhi. Okay, means I have not studied Sanskrit ever in my life. I had French as my third language in school. But this sloka, this verse from Bhagavad Gita was super inspiring. So what is Krishna telling? Okay, Krishna is telling Vyavasaya Atmika Buddhi. What is Vyavasai? Anybody knows what is Vyavasai?
Occupation, what
Yes,
he's doing.
yes, perfectly. Means perfectly right. That it means occupation or business. Okay, means to be more specific, it's business. Okay, so if some businessman is there, okay, wherever he'll go, means whosoever he'll meet, he'll have only one goal in his mind. That is, how can I make profit? Okay, he doesn't really care what's the weather outside, whether it's rainy, whether it's winter, whether it's summers or any damn thing. He doesn't really care which government is there in power right now. He doesn't really care whether it's IIT, NIT, or some IP college or anything else. Only thing he has to do with is how can I make more profit? That's it. Okay, so this is called Vyavasay Atmika Buddhi. Okay, single pointed attention. Okay, so Ekeha, second line is saying, no, Ekeha Kurunandana. Oh, Arjuna. Okay, have a single pointed attention. Okay, so this is called clarity of goal. Okay, but unfortunately, what most of people are there and means what kind of mentality people have nowadays is what the third line describes as Bahushakha Hirantasya. Okay, people are Bahushakha. Bahushakha means many branched. Okay, they'll means run here also, they run there also. They'll try to means have a good profile. Mean they'll try to impress. Means they'll run after Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, YouTube is a big sensation these days. Okay, so Bahushakha, people become many branched, and because they are many branched, they miss the goal. Okay, just like if I tell you that okay, you people are sitting at your homes, respective homes, so I give you a task that you have to dig a hole right now on the floor, and you have to take out means you have to dig means till the point the water doesn't start coming out from the ground. Okay, so what you will say means firstly it's not possible only. Okay, so even if means let's consider that it's possible, and even if you started digging, so if you dig at one place, there is good amount of possibility that water may come out, right? But if you start digging at 5 places simultaneously, okay, आप 5 जगह पे अगर गड्ढे खोदोगे, so what will happen? Is there any possibility that water will come out? No, not at all, right? Because you have limited energy. You are a human being. A human being has limited energy, and you have divided that limited energy into 5 places. Okay, if at all you would have invested that limited energy at one single point, so there was still some possibility of success. But because you have divided your energy, okay, means to help with success. Okay, so this is what people do. Okay, they divide their energy at multiple places, not knowing the outcomes, not caring about what's going to come in future. Okay, so this is what do we say? Means this kind of I give many students come to me. I give them the advice that in their first year, what you do is you focus on your CGPA, you develop good CGPA. Why? Because when good companies come for recruitment or for placements, so what happens is these companies they will means first for the first thing which the company check is your CGPA. Okay, if some student could not be responsible towards his own studies, towards his own CGPA, how will he be responsible in my company? This is what the recruiter will think, right? Okay. So, but although I have given this advice repeatedly, sometimes many times on the public platforms. Okay, but still some students means just can't get it through their head. Okay, means there are many big coders. Some were literally world toppers. I mean, I'm not joking. Some were means many of them were world rank 100, means around that rank 100, two, three of them, but none of them got Google. Okay, I'm not comparing Google with success, but I'm just telling that all of them got placed in ordinary companies. Why? Because means the focus was not at one place. The focus was divided. Okay, so those fellows, they had many things. So those big coders in their resume, they had many things. Okay, they had MongoDB. Okay, people knew database. People knew operating system. Okay, people knew five languages: Java, Python, Go, C++. Okay, and what else? Means many more things. Okay, my resume had only one language, C++, and there's a section in resume, software packages known. Okay, my that column for my resume was absolutely blank. I didn't know any software package. Okay, but means still they didn't get. Why they didn't get? Why? Because they were not focusing on those things which are required. Okay, instead they are focusing on those things which are not required. Okay, so means coming back to the same point, that having clarity of goal. Just telling means, I hope many or most of you must have seen cricket, right? So in cricket, what happens? Let's say somebody wants to be a cricketer. Okay, so if he has this goal that I want to be a cricketer, okay, will he be able to get into Indian cricket team? No. So what he has to decide, I have to be either a bowler or a batsman, right? He has to decide in which field he wants to be an expert. If somebody wants to enter as an all-rounder, that person never becomes a successful cricketer. Okay, you either enter as a bowler or you enter as a batsman. Okay, later on you may be able to expand your, what do you say, your area of influence, but means you have to either enter as a batsman or a bowler. Let's say somebody chooses to enter as a bowler, so still he get into Indian team? No, he has to decide whether I want to be a fast-paced bowler or I want to be a spinner. Okay, let's say somebody wants to be a spinner, then also he has to decide, I want to be an off spinner, I want to be a leg spinner. Okay, even if somebody is an off spinner, he has to means some people have their own special deliveries, like Ajanta Mendes had, Ravichandran Ashwin had, right? So you're seeing that how much narrowing down of the goal has to be done before actually achievement of the goal. Okay, so I don't know how much theoretical all this is sounding, but this is very practical. Okay, so this much amount of narrowing down is actually required. Okay, so yes, this was first thing. Okay, so can you move on to next slide, please? Yes, this is my favorite example. This is an example of Arjuna from Mahabharata. Okay, so one fine day, what happened, that Arjun and Bhim, they were having dinner, and that time what happened, that when they were having dinner, there was huge wind. Okay, बहुत जोर से हवा चली. So what happened as a result? All the lamps went off. Basically, the light went off because of the wind. Okay, so means Arjuna was waiting for the light to be back. Means waiting for the servants to again light the lamps, so that they can again start eating. Okay. So by the time the light was back, what Arjun saw, that the plate was completely empty. Means as soon as the light came back, he saw, hey, the plate is empty. I left when the light went out, the plate was completely full. Now it's empty. How is it possible? So means he said, Bhim, means how did you manage to eat in the darkness? Okay, how do you know that the food which you are picking up, it's going right inside your mouth? Means how do you have that much expertise? So Bhim said one line: practice makes a man perfect. Okay, so means that time Arjun what do you say, laid down his goal. Okay, what was his goal? that I'll become such an expert archer that just like Bhima is able to eat in the darkness, I'll become such an expert archer that I'll be able to shoot in darkness also. Okay. And did it become successful? Yes, it was successful. Arjuna was successful. How do you know Arjuna was successful? Okay, one day there was test. Okay. So Dronacharya called all the fellows, means all the Pandavas and all the Kauravas. He said, "Hey boys, you have had sufficient training. So today will be your examination day." So what was the exam? What was the exam about? The exam was about hitting the eye of a wooden bird which was kept on the tree. Okay, so there was a tree. On that tree, a wooden bird was kept, and to pass the exam, you had to hit the eye of the bird. So first of all, I don't know the order in which the Pandavas and Kauravas were called, but just mentioning a hypothetical order. So first of all, what do you say? Mm, Nakul was called. Okay, so Nakul was asked, "Hey Nakul, what do you see?" Oh, sorry, Nakul, take your target. So Nakul, what do you see? Nakul said, "Gurudev, I'm seeing trees." "What else do you see?" "Gurudev, I'm seeing mangoes in the trees." "Okay, वापस आ जाओ." "Okay, no, don't I have to take the shoot?" No, 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 means come back, come back. Okay, next was Sadev. Nakul, oh sorry, Sadev, what do you see? Gurudev, I'm also seeing trees like my brother. What else do you see? Gurudev, I'm seeing mountains behind the trees. Okay, come back. Okay, don't I have to hit the target? No, 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 come back. Okay, then next was Bhima. Bhim was called. Okay, Bhim, take your target. What are you seeing? Gurudev, I'm seeing mangoes. What else are you seeing? Gurudev, I'm seeing even bigger mangoes. You rascal, I'm not talking about mangoes. You tell me what you are seeing actually. Gurudev, I'm seriously seeing mangoes. I'm seeing the mangoes on the trees behind also. Okay, okay, come back. Okay, don't you expect me to hit the target? No, no, come back. Okay, Duryodhan was seeing that this fellow means he came back. He came back. He was also called back. So Duryodhan, because he was a politician by birth, when his turn came, he was told, "Take your target." Duryodhan, "Yes, Gurudev. What are you seeing?" "Gurudev, I'm seeing your feet. आपके चरण दिख रहे हैं, Gurudev." So Dronacharya said, "To hell with my charan. Tell me what you are seeing." "Gurudev, I'm seeing your lotus feet. Nothing else today, Gurudev." Okay, so he was told, "Okay, you also come back." "Gurudev, don't you expect me to hit the target?" No, no, come back. So Duryodhan was thinking that I gave a totally different reply, still means disappointment. So then Yudhishthir was called. "Okay, Yudhishthir, what do you see?" "Gurudev, I am seeing only the bird." "Okay, no, you also come back. You're also not qualified." Then finally Arjun was called. "Okay, Arjun, take your target. What do you see?" "Gurudev, I'm seeing only the eye of the bird. Do you see anything?" "Sorry, Gurudev, today I'm not even able to see you." "Are you sure?" "Yes, shoot." And it was right on target. Okay. So we may clap that Arjun was able to hit his target with such nice precision. Okay, we may clap on the day when Arjun passed the exam. But what was the day means when we should have actually clapped? We should have actually clapped on the day when Arjun had set his clear goal. Okay. So this was point number one. Okay, clarity of goal. Okay, so if you have this, you are halfway through. Can we move on to the next slide, please? Yes. The second point is that we should go by duty, not by feeling. So, what do I mean by go by duty and not going by feeling? So, as students, our duty is to study. Okay. So, what most of the times happens is people don't study, even if the exams are just round the corner. People don't study. Why? क्योंकि मन नहीं कर रहा है. Okay, I'm not feeling like studying, therefore I'm not studying. Okay, so people go many a times by feeling, not by duty, and this is exactly the second place where they make mistake. Okay, so we should means even if we are not feeling like doing what we are supposed to do, okay, we should definitely do it. Okay. Like in IITs, means in at least my college, IIT Roorkee, the students who used to study a lot, they had a specific name. They were called Gissus. Okay, Ghissu. Why? Because घिसता रहता है हर time. Okay, what are such people called in your college? Any replies in chat box? In some colleges they are called Ghissu, some colleges they are called Maggu or something. Do you people have some name for such people? Okay, I'm not getting any replies, so may not be. Okay, fine. Whatever it may be. Okay. So what I wanted to say means the point which I wanted to drive here is that okay, one person is telling paddy pist. Okay. Anyways, so means whatever you may call him, nerd, padaku, or gissu. So you ever seen that such gissus? They have one very special quality that they are very determined. Okay, they follow the second point of going by duty and not by feeling very rigidly. Okay, and therefore means during the exams, okay, while everyone is what do you say trying to cut down their sleep. Okay, some people give up sleeping completely, some people sleep for only 2 hours, some people sleep for 3 hours, although they need a sleep of 10 hours per day. Okay, while everyone is what do you say on their toes during examination, these gissus, you know what, they are the coolest people around the campus. Okay. So why? Because when the professor was teaching in the class, these gissus, they were studying on the front bench and studying, while other fellows, what they were doing, they were sitting at the back running WhatsApp, means doing some chit chat, means watching some videos on YouTube, etc., etc. Okay, of course, I'm not at all against social media, YouTube, etc. YouTube is a product of my company. Why will I be against it? Okay, but the idea is, why do people do all these things at the back bench and they don't prefer to sit in the front? Why? Because they want to look cool. The purpose is to look cool. But for the Ghissus, the purpose is to be cool. Okay. So for the sake of looking cool, means they enter into a zone where they are completely uncool. Okay. So my question is, who is cool? Okay, whether the Gissu or those fellows who are sitting at the back and doing all that nonsense. Okay. So means yes, means basically, and yes, means these Gissus, those people who get 10 on 10 every semester, although people may call them what they make fun of them on their front, but at the on their back, means in the heart of the heart, people have a lot of respect for such people, for such nerds, for such padaku log. Okay, means they have a lot of respect. Okay, why? Because they go by duty, they don't go by feeling. Okay, so rather means those people who sit at the back trying to have fun all the time, unfortunately. Okay, so this is not the right attitude, especially at this point of time of your life, at this age. Okay, people try to have fun all the time, but if you try to have fun all the time, remember one thing, that your life will be very funny. I repeat, if you try to have fun all the time, then your life is going to be really very funny. Trust me. Okay. So yes. So can you move on to the next slide, please? Yeah, this is a very good example of how do you go by means duty and not by feeling. So this is a photograph of a Shaolin monk. Okay, what's a Shaolin monk? So basically, there's kung fu. There's a form of kung fu that is called Shaolin Kung Fu. When I was in class, when which class was I at that time? I think I was in class 8th or in class 10th. At that time, I had gone for a GK quiz, inter-school GK quiz. Okay, it was pretty what do you say, big scale, pretty large scale GK quiz. Okay, so before the quiz, they have announcement, they have means some programs and all. So that time, these people, Shaolin people, and they had come for their presentation. Okay, so one Shaolin monk came on the stage, and an announcement was made. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have a Shaolin monk amongst us, and right now in front of you, what he's going to do is he is going to break an iron rod with his head. I said, what? Can you say that again, please? He's going to break an iron rod with his head. So, uh, so yes. So I thought that breaking an iron rod with head, interesting. So either these people are crazy or they are trying to make me crazy. Okay, means either they are out of their mind or they think that we are out of our mind. Means breaking iron rod with head means totally impossible. Okay, so that person took a rod. Okay, and within a flash of second, that fellow struck the iron rod on his head, and the first half was in his hand only, and the second half it broke apart and went means quite far back. So I was taken by surprise that how did he do that? And then I came home, did some research, and found out that the Shaolin monks, they're famous for a lot of practice. Okay, they do a lot of practice. Okay, they have some camps and all. Means they stay at a particular place for quite a few years, and there they practice a lot. They practice so much that means their fingers are so sharp, means so strong that they can make a hole in the tree, in the trunk of a tree, simply by putting their finger inside. Okay, nothing will happen to their finger, but the trunk of the tree will have a hole in it. Okay, if you take a rod, an iron rod, and put and hit them with the best of your energy on the private part of their body, of their body, nothing will happen to them. Absolutely nothing. Okay, how did it happen? Okay, did it happen by magic? Okay, is it that they were too strong by birth? No, it happened by practice. And means, to put practice into better words, is going by feeling, not going by duty, not by feeling. When the Shaolin monks must have been staying at the camps, must have been staying away from home. Okay, even these fellows might have felt like running back home. Okay, playing around with their friends just like other people are doing. Okay, but they gave up their feeling. They are feeling like running back, means running and going back, but they didn't choose to go by feeling. They chose to go by duty. That's why they stayed there. And just because they chose to go by duty, not by feeling, they become successful Shaolin monks. Okay, during my stay also at IIT Roorkee, because I was away from home, okay, I didn't used to feel I used to feel homesickness quite a few times. And on top of that, because I was not in such a good branch, and there were computer science students who were really good in coding in comparison to me. So when I was preparing for placements, many a time I used to, be frustrated, miserable, this, that, and used to feel like running back. Okay, if at all, at that time I would have gone by feeling. When I was feeling like running back home, okay, sometimes I seriously felt like to hell with the BTech degree and I need to go back. Okay, probably choosing production industry engineering was the wrong choice. Okay. So if at all at that time I would have chosen to go by feeling and not by duty, so would I be in the same position in which I am today? No, right? So therefore, going by duty is really important. Okay. So means, so people, so sometimes means when you're in college, because you're in hostel, there's nobody, your mother is not there to wake you up. Sometimes people sleep for 10 hours, sometimes people sleep for 12 hours. Okay, in one college, NIT Allahabad, okay, uh, on the bed it was written, okay, here stayed that great person who slept once for 22 hours continuously. Okay, when I got to know this, I said, "Kamal hai, matlab, applause." Okay, तालियां बजनी चाहिए इसके लिए. Means give him the award. He should be given an award. Okay, Filmfare Award for Best Actor in Sleeping Role. Means, is this an achievement? Person slept for 22 hours. Means foolish fellow. Okay, wasted his precious time of the precious years of his life. Okay, wasted time of his youth. Okay, so yes, means, so sometimes people have a lot of attraction to sleeping. Okay, people like to play PUBG, play CS. Okay, watch Amazon Prime, Netflix. Okay, so means fine. You want to get entertained. That's one thing, but the purpose of life should not be to get entertained. Okay, so entertainment is a need, and it should remain a need. Okay, it should not become the purpose, it should not become the goal. Okay, so yes, this was point number 2. And moving on to point number 3, can we move next slide please? That yes, abiding by, living a life abiding by Vedic scripture. This is the third good thing which I did. That is, my family has a very spiritual background, and I'm proud of that. So, I mean, the Vedic scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, they are very common in my family. So, what means the first 2 principles which I told you, those are also means now somebody will ask, so how do you develop those first 2 principles? Okay, so those 2 principles are developed when you follow the Vedic scriptures. Okay, so people call Vedic scriptures as outdated, as primitive, or means some other unique term for Vedic scriptures. But no, means they are not primitive, they are very practical. I have personally read many books, many Vedic texts. Okay, so they are very much practical. Okay, so the writer, okay, it's not that we people in 21st century, okay, we are some special species on the planet, okay, who doesn't go well with Vedic scriptures. No, not at all. Okay, they were practical in the past, they are practical today, and they'll be very much practical in the future also. Just to give an example, can we go to the next slide please? Yes. How many of you have read or heard about this book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People? Okay, I'm getting some replies. Okay, so this book by Stephen Covey, okay, more than 4 crore copies of this book have been sold. Okay, that's an old data. 40 million, that's an old data. Okay, now even more must have been sold. Okay, so Stephen Covey, at one of the places, he himself told that the 7 habits which I'm telling, I have all derived them from Bhagavad Gita. Okay, basically Vedic scriptures. But why my book is famous and the Vedic scriptures are not famous is that these Indians, they don't have faith in their own culture, in their Vedic, in their traditional books and all. Okay, unfortunately. Okay, so if you want to achieve point number 1 and point number 2, you need to follow point number 3 first. Okay, people many times ask my schedule, so I tell them frankly that every morning I give around a couple of hours to meditation. Okay, means meditation which are mentioned in the scriptures. Okay, so it may seem that I am wasting my time, but I ask people, really? Just like you're writing an exam, suppose you're writing an exam, so let's say you're writing an exam with pencil, and during the examination your pencil is getting blunt. So the process of sharpening the pencil, the time which you give to sharpening of the pencil, that may seem to be a waste of time. Okay, mark my words, seem to be a waste of time, but that's not a waste of time, right? That's a part of, appropriate utilization of time. If you don't sharpen your pencil, your even more time will be getting wasted, right? So similarly, because I give a couple of hours to meditation, to reading of scriptures, okay, like that. So therefore, when I go out on performing, earlier when I was performing as a student, now when I go out and performing, during my job, okay, I can achieve those things within 1 hour, which other people are not even able to achieve in 4 hours. I'm not at all exaggerating. I used to do coding only during the daytime. I used to sleep at around 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. Used to follow a very simple life, while other students, they used to do night outs and used to code for hours and hours together. Used to sit in groups, etc., etc. 4 years, the only thing they did was coding. Okay, still they had a different result. They did not get their expected result, and I got a lot more than what was expected. Okay, so no credit goes to me. Okay, the entire credit goes to our glorious Vedic scriptures, and this and the meditation which I used to do. Okay, so means there was a group in our college, means not a group like other groups. There was a group which used to conduct just like this talk is going on now, and this talk is being organized by one of the groups. So like that only, means when I was in first year, such kind of talk was organized. And means although I had a spiritual background from my family only, but it got more solidified. I got a better understanding of scriptures, like Bhagavad Gita and all, when that group, what do we say, used to conduct such seminars, such talks, etc. Okay, so I'm not very sure, but in future, if you get such an opportunity, means I don't know, by this group or any other group or anything, okay, please don't miss it out. Okay, that's not waste of time. That's just like sharpening of the pencil. That's effective consumption of the time. Okay, so yes, that was mostly it from my side. Can you move to the next slide, please? Yeah, that's mostly it. Thank you so much. Yeah, anything, if you have any question and all. Okay, means back to Ashwin. He may have some announcements. You're on mute.
Okay, yeah, sorry for that. Okay, thank you, Mr. Ayush, for your wonderful time and your wisdom sharing with us. Before we move on to question answer sessions, I would like to show some of you guys something which we are planning to do from our skill craft. So just a few minutes, okay, bear with me. Yeah, so I think you guys are able to see my screen, right? So okay, it's an odd title. Big Bang is not science. So why do I say Big Bang is not science? And how is it at all related to this talk? So we clickbaited you telling journey to Google, and I am talking about Big Bang is not science. You may wonder like that, but it's not the case. It's very relevant. Let me explain you what I am trying to tell here. Okay, so what is science? It's study about something which is observable, repeatable, verifiable. As simple as that. So science means you observe something, you repeat those experiments, verify the hypothesis. As simple as that, right? So what about Big Bang? Is it observable? Nobody has observed so far. Repeatable? No. Verifiable? Yes. Indirect means you can say whether it happened or not, but there is no assurance it is true, right? So based on this, we can say Big Bang is not science. So here comes the question. Why did I choose Big Bang? And why we talk about Big Bang as it is a part of science in our everyday life, right? We have read Stephen Hawking's books. We have read so many blog articles, watched so many movies like Interstellar and things like that. We wonder about what is this black hole and so many things. And we have so many questions like that, right? But how do you study something if it is not science, right? Is there anything else? Can we do something else other than science? Because frankly speaking, from our childhood, we have been brought up in terms of science only. We are not concentrated on, we never gave a time to concentrate on other forms of gathering knowledge, right? So that is actually a flaw in our education system. And it's the same reason why the new education policy has been published up. So no, we have vernacular education and many things has been added up. So if you see the structure of the NEP 2020, there is a lot of things other than science which has been added as an addition in your curriculum. So that is a one step closer to fix the flaws. Okay, fine, but that is for the new generation, right? What about us, right? So you may have a question. What are we going to do with it? We missed those things. So we only studied science. We of course studied English and some other subjects, but we mostly dealt with science, right? So what do we have here with us? So we dealt with science, but that's not all. We have arts, we have philosophy and theology, we have literature, we have music. So these things make a person's knowledge complete. So I used to think before coming to college that novels are waste of time. It's just some bunch of stories written by some novelists, right? But no, they teach you or they show you life of another person from another person's perspective, but you learn their life lessons by reading that. So you see, you can't neglect that it is not scientific. Science is one tiny speck of way to understand the world and gain knowledge. But we have other things like music, literature, arts, and philosophy, theology, which can give us knowledge. But wait, come on. As Sir said, we have to be focused on one particular thing and, go ahead, right? We don't have time for all these things. Don't worry, we got you covered. How? Let's look at it. Wow, that's a good video, right? So we bring you something called Ignite, a course which will help you reinforce all these knowledge and strategies in your own lifestyle and be a successful person, right? So it's a 4-session course, and a good thing is we are launching it for free for the first batch. So I will be circulating the form in the chat box right now for all of you to give a feedback, and also if you wish you can register for the course. It's free of charge. We are not charging for this course like any other course we do usually. And so I leave the stage to Mr. Ayush for the question answer sessions, but please do fill all the forms. Okay, so thank you.
Yes. So means in the meantime, when you people are filling up your forms, you can type your question in the chat box. I don't know whether asking by unmuting is allowed or not, but yeah, means you can write it down. I can wait for a couple of minutes for the questions to come up. Okay. Okay, so this means Chintu has asked me, means the person named Chintu has asked me a question, but it's personal, so I'll not take it here. Maybe Chintu, you can means get in touch with the organizers, get my email ID, and maybe you can set up some time later together. Okay, so you can get my email ID from the organizers, and we can get in touch. Dushyant is asking, sir, I am from electrical engineering. I'm preparing for GATE to get into IITs and ITs. I'm doing coding in C++ simultaneously. So should I focus on technical only for GATE, or should I do both? Okay, so means very simple answer I'll give to this question. That means what you are doing means that doesn't matter. What matters is why you are doing. So whatever you are doing, it should have very solid sound reason. Okay, just like I chose production engineering, it might seem to be a foolish idea, but there was a solid sound reason behind that, right? Okay, so if you are doing C++, there should be a solid strong reason behind that. If you are preparing for GATE, there should be a solid strong reason behind that also. And why you are doing both of them together, there should be a solid strong reason behind that. So if there's a reason, there's a good reason, then you can continue this way. And if there's not a good reason, so before proceeding ahead, you need to question why. You need to figure out means why you're doing this. Okay, then you can make up your mind. Okay. Lakshman is asking seriously, couple of hours for meditation. Yeah, means I know people who are means in one sense means more successful than me, and they give even more time to meditation. So yeah, means the more the better. Okay. So you people means some people tell me, hey Ayush, if for those 2 hours instead of doing meditation, if you do some other job or you open some business of yours, in those 2 hours you can make a lot of more money. I said, sorry, I'm not interested in making more money. I'm more interested in making myself a better human being. Okay, so means the choice is yours. You want to be a better human being or you want to make more money. So I choose to be a better human being. So therefore I give time to read the scriptures, I give time to meditation. Okay, I hope you all are filling the feedback form in the meantime. Indulekha is asking, I'm confused with choosing between C++ or Python. Which is important in placements? What is your suggestion? Okay, means although I have been told to start taking interviews, but I've not yet started, and because I've not yet started, so means I'm not the best person to comment on this. But yes, means I don't have much idea on Python because I never worked. I have never used it. I mean, in the team also which I work, that uses Java. Okay, so I cannot comment much on this, but one thing I can definitely tell that means C++ means I was heading for placements couple of years back. So that time C++ was more popular. Let's say there were certain platforms on which exams used to be conducted. So they did not used to support Python. Okay, they used to support C++, they used to support Java. So some didn't used to support Python. And yeah, that's the only reason. Means if you want me to choose one of the two languages, I'll go for C++. But I'm not sure of the means what's the update for means this year, right? I mean, it may so happen that Python might have gone more popularity than C++. So you can check with some other people, okay? Or you can check back with me after 6 months or so, okay, when I start taking interviews. Okay. Yes, you may unmute yourself and ask me questions. One more question. What is Google up to quantum computers? Okay, no idea about that. Okay, I have never taken interest in quantum computers. Okay, I know that there means one fellow of mine means he's working. Means I know quite a few people who are working in quantum AI, quantum computing, but I just don't take interest in all that. One person is asking, "Were you a Gissu?" Who's asking? Amirul is asking, so was I a Gissu when I was in college? Means I never heard people calling me Gissu, but means yeah, I was quite focused for studies. Okay, so means in one sense yes, in one sense no. But yes, means my CGPA was never too good. It was my CGPA never went above 9. Okay, at one time I got 9, at another point I got 8 point something. So my CGPA was always between 8 and 9, and I purposefully kept it means in that range. If at all I would have worked harder, I could have easily got above 9. But means I knew that for placement something between 8 and 9 is more than sufficient. So therefore I never over endeavored means for that. So that was intentional. Any other question? Okay, one question is how to means I don't know whether I should take this question in public or not, but I don't shy taking such questions. So one question is how to avoid seeing pornography. Okay, so means I'll not take the name of the person who's asking, but means it's a very common problem. The one who has asked the question is brave enough to ask. Uh, why? Because at least you have decided to give it up, right? Most of the people don't even think. Means they get so badly entangled that they're not even able to give it up. So yes, means have some positive engagement for yourself. If you don't have positive engagement, solid constructive positive engagement, positive से मेरा मतलब वो नहीं है positive thinking वाले वो जो courses होते हैं फालतू के courses होते हैं. Okay, I don't mean those positive thinking courses or something like that. I mean some constructive engagement. Okay, so means if you want to discard a lower taste, you have to engage yourself in a higher one. Okay, engage in a higher taste to discard a lower one. So if you want to give up this, you need to engage in something better. Okay, so means now what is better for you that you can only decide. Okay, so that's up to you. Maybe you can learn something. Okay, what I means, I am also means very passionate kind of person who means if you give me small things, I get frustrated. If I until unless I have some big engagements, means I get totally frustrated. So what I did was, I means just like this group is there, we had a group called Team Evolve in IIT Roorkee. So I joined that group, took many leadership roles there, used to means do all the management, background management of such sessions, such seminars. Right now the session is online, so not much management would be needed. Means when I was in college, all these things used to happen means face to face, offline. Okay, so that time lot of management used to be there. Okay, a lot of manpower was needed. So I used to try to take the lead role in that. So all my passion, all my, what do we say, that achiever mentality which I have now, so all that used to go in that. So that was very positive engagement, and I learned so many things, managing people, managing events, organizing events. Okay, how to use different resources, how to arrange resources. Okay, I learned so many things. So this is one example of positive engagement. The rest you can think for yourself. Yes, one more question. How to understand the view of Leonardo da Vinci, who was a polymath and had multiple interests and many branched. His focus point was gaining knowledge, whatever field it may be. I wish to know your views on it. Okay. So he's saying that had multiple interests and many branches. So yes, you may have multiple interests. Even I have multiple interests. So I'm not saying that you put aside your interest, okay, become a boring person or something like that. No, not at all. Okay, so means you may have many interests, but you should have a primary interest, right? And primary interest also means for a certain amount of time. Like, means, to give an example, my example only, means, I'm sorry that I'm giving my example again. But my primary focus, I'll not even call it interest, means, to be very honest, I don't, what do we say, it's, coding is not the best thing which I find in the world. No, means, I know many things which I find better than coding. Okay, so you give me an option, coding may be probably the last thing which I need to do. Okay, but when it comes to profession, I chose coding. Okay, so there's loads of difference between what is interest and what is the need. So coding was a need, and why I chose that, because I could very clearly see that the world is becoming slowly software. Okay, so all the mechanical jobs and all, they will lose value with time. I knew that very perfectly. So therefore I made up my mind that I'll go with this career. I don't think at any point of time in my talk I told that coding was my interest. No, means that was a goal but not interest. So yes, means for attaining certain goal, you may have to give up your interest. Okay, and that was a goal for only 4 years, right? Now I'm not after coding. Now I'm not opening Geeks for Geeks, interview bit, lead code. No. Okay, so for certain amount of time you may have to give, for a certain time period, you may have to give time to certain thing. Okay, for attaining a particular goal. That was my point. Okay, so means, so your question goes in line, very much in line with my point number 2, that go by duty, not by feeling. So yes, you may have hundreds of interests. When I was, means, during my BTech, I used to do many things which were of my interest. I used to do a lot of Photoshop editing. Okay, because I love designing. When I was taking up leadership roles in such groups and organizing events and all the posters I personally used to design. Okay, so because that was, you can say, secondary goal or my hobby or whatever you may call. Okay, so please don't get me wrong. Okay, how you started meditation? I can't sit for 5 minutes, by anonymous. Okay, so means, everything's possible by practice. So if you can't sit for 5 minutes, don't worry. Okay, start by 4 minutes. Okay, if you can't sit for 4 minutes, start by 3 minutes. Okay, and slowly your time duration will increase. Okay, so Even today when I sit for a couple of hours, 2 hours, okay, I cannot, means I don't take the claim that I'm fully focused during 2 hours, but means when I'm there, at least I'm trying to put my focus. Okay, so means, so you will become better at something when you do more than that, right? आपकी मसल्स हैं, मसल्स डेवलप कब होंगी? जब आप मसल्स को फुल्ली एक्सरसाइज करोगे, मतलब जितनी आपकी मसल्स की स्ट्रेंथ है उसको फुल्ली एक्सरसाइज करके एक स्टेप आगे जाओगे, राइट? तभी मसल्स डेवलप होंगी, राइट? बढ़ेंगी. Okay, so similarly, you can't sit for 5 minutes. Sit for 5 minutes, with time you will become habituated to 5 minutes. Then when you're habituated to 5 minutes, increase it to 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour, like that. In which branch of Google you are currently working? I'm working in Google Nest. Google Nest is a team which makes the hardware, most of the hardware products of Google. Nest was a company, separate company earlier. Then Google acquired it in 2014, I think. Yeah. So since then, that Nest is called Google Nest, and it has many products: speaker, what do you say, smart TV, smart doorbell, smart bulb, thermostat, many things. Okay, so means in India we don't have, that's not very, this team is not very popular in India. In India only 2-3 products are there. I have one Google Nest Audio, that's a Bluetooth speaker. Not really Bluetooth speaker, that you can say the smart speaker. And there's Google Nest Hub, that means more of a tab kind of thing. Okay, so these two, and one more is Chromecast. Chromecast, I think I don't, means Chromecast I don't have. The rest two products I have. So yes, I'm developing a web app for these products. Okay, any last question? Otherwise, I'm done.
So good evening, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, may I know what in what topics the students should focus? Like actually, you have gone through many interviews and many big companies have interviewed you. So in which topic we have to focus for getting a good job, not only job, but it will be like really future proof for the 10 years. Like we can go higher.
Okay, so means many times I'm asked this question and I give a very standard reply, and I'll give that same standard reply to you also. That what means, people ask me which courses you took up for preparing for interviews. Okay, which did you took up any crash course for, means when your interviews were just coming, or something. So I tell people very clearly that yes, it's true that students go for mock what do you say, mock courses, crash courses, this that, but I never took any of them. Why? Because I when I had joined this group, no, Team Evolve, in my college, so well, because I took many leadership roles, I gave many talks at that time also. I used to do primarily background management, so but I used to give, means sometimes I used to take front end roles also, and used to give talks, deliver speeches and all. Okay, so by doing all that, by doing all the management, by giving talks and all, means I gained so much of experience, that means I didn't really feel any need. Means I interacted with so many people, dealt with so many tough times, that I didn't really feel any need to go for any separate interviews, separate trainings, and or anything else. Okay, so all the students were running, they were going crazy, they were paying money like anything for different courses. I didn't go for any of them. And because I had read scriptures, scriptures very clearly talk about, means different people and different kind of people. Just like, means I'm pretty sure आप में से किसी को नहीं, none of you would be knowing about this. There's something called modes. There's called mode of passion, mode of ignorance, mode of goodness. So I read about this. Okay, so when the interviewer was in front of me, means the person, means the kind of person is in front of you. Okay, you deal with them accordingly. Okay, so means just to give an example, one interviewer was there. Means during the exchange of words. Okay, figured out what kind of person he is, and I replied accordingly. Okay, so when even the results had not come, I called up my brother. I told him that, okay, Goldman Sachs is clear, let's talk about Google. Okay, why? Because means I was able to, what do you say, judge the interviewer's mentality or reply accordingly. And from there, from my replies only, I was able to make out that the person is very super duper impressed. Okay, so you don't really need to what do we say, to master some particular skills, or you need to have certain talents, or you need to take some trainings. This is my personal opinion, that you don't need any of that. What you need to be is a good person. Okay, and you need to have means थोड़ी अगर आप बोलो दुनियादारी, if you need to have दुनियादारी, means you can have that means very well from various scriptures, you know. Okay, I read means just like Bhagavad Gita 12 chapter talks about, no, not 12, 14 chapter talks about different modes, 17 chapter talks about different modes. Okay, so you read all this, you'll get a lot of worldly experience. Okay, I have a friend in City. Means he was working in City, now he's not working anymore. City Group, Citibank is a part of City Group. Okay, so he was, I think, in the hiring committee. So he was told frankly, he was going to take an interview. He was told frankly that we don't want engineers, we don't want coders, we want good people. Okay, whatever engineering and all we have to teach, we can teach them here. Okay. And I also joined company first 2 months. Okay, only thing I was doing was watching videos, taking trainings, you know. So the company in one sense gave me salary for the first 2 months for no reason, for no solid reason. Okay, on the first day itself, I told my manager that I am not from computer science background, so please don't expect anything out of me. I'm a clean slate. Okay, I don't know anything of computer science or software engineering. He said, don't worry, means we'll train you. Means whatever courses you want to take, you take. We'll expense everything. Okay, don't worry, you are here for a reason. Don't worry. So this is there. People don't see what talents you have, what skills you have. Okay, even if tomorrow I'm also going as an interviewer, you know, this skills, talents, programming, coding, data science, etc. This is secondary thing which I'll see. The first thing which I'll see is how good a person he is. If he's not a good person, I would not like to work with him, right? उसके पास कितना भी skill हो, means to hell with that skill. Okay, first thing I want to know is how you as a person. If you are going to give me a tough time during my job, okay, why will I hire you, right? So these are things which need to be worked upon. But unfortunately, what is taught in today's society, that people are taught that, okay, means be arrogant. Okay, being arrogant is considered to be really cool. Okay, ईंट का जवाब पत्थर से देना, it's considered to be really cool. It's considered to be standard these days. Okay, means, but no, you may fail at crucial at crucial points of your life if you go by what is considered to be standard these days. No, means just like humility. Okay, humility a very very good quality. Okay, so not many people have that. And means as an interviewer, if you're asking me, I'll hire the first person. The person whom I'll give the highest priority would be the person who would be most humble. Yeah. So yes, work on humanly qualities rather than on talents and skills. Okay, is that clear?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay, Indulekha is asking, can you share your Google interview experience? Maybe we need a separate talk for that. Okay, I can give a lot many details. Okay, so I think we should end with that. We can, if somebody wants to ask anything more, we can have we can discuss sometime later whenever I'm given an opportunity to speak next. Okay, thank you so much, Ashwin.
Thank you very much, sir. A gentle reminder for the participants, please fill the feedback form. I know you are all very excited to interact with sir, but please try to fill the form, and we will meet you in the next course, which is our Ignite. Okay. So thank you, sir, for your wonderful time with us. I learned a lot from you. I hope it's the same for others, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.